Welcome students to the first chapter in biology, the fundamental unit of life. The term fundamental unit, it itself designates it is the basic unit, the basic structural and functional unit of life is called as the cell. In this chapter, we shall study in detail about the cell. In your class 8th, you have had a overview of the cell, the different organelles of the cell, and the differences between plant cell and animal cell. In this lesson, we are going to have advanced study on these topics. It was in 1665, a scientist called as Robert Hooke examined a thin slice of cork under a microscope. It was the time when Leeuwenhoek had just found out a rudimentary microscope, and some of the scientists were observing different things under the microscope. So Robert Hooke made thin slices of the cork that is used to put on bottles, and he saw that these cork slices had an honeycomb pattern. It looked like compartments. You can see in the picture the slice section that was observed by Robert Hooke under the microscope. So it had a honeycomb pattern, hexagonal cells. So he called them as cells because they were closed compartments and they looked like tiny chambers. That is why he called them the cells. These cells later on were designed and discovered to be having more wonderful things. The cork that he observed were actually dead cells and they didn't have anything inside them, whereas the other living cells which were later on observed were going to unravel the mysteries of life. For observation of any tiny object, you require an instrument which is called as the microscope. Microscopes are many types. We have the dissection microscope, the compound microscope, and the electron microscope. In this chapter, we will be studying about different parts of the compound microscope, or otherwise it is called as the light microscope. It is called so because it uses light to be focused on a slide which is placed in the observing stage of the microscope, and hence called as the light microscope. The part where you put your eyes to look into the microscope is called as the eyepiece. There is a lens in the eyepiece and it is called as the eyepiece lens. The objective lens is the lens which is nearer to the object. So these two lenses together magnify the object that is put on the stage of the microscope into many times. The low power lens is either 10x, it is called 10x, that means 10 times magnified, or 15x, which means this 15 times magnified. So you have the objective lens which is of 10x, 15x or 45x, and the eyepiece lens has either 10x or 15x. So when together both of these lenses magnify, the low power has a magnification of 10 into 10 or 10 into 15 or 15 into 15. The high power lens magnification reaches up to 45 into 15 or 45 into 10. So that is the size giving you how small these cells that you see under the microscope are. So when you observe a a onion peel cell or a chick epithelial cell, you must remember it must be 450 times magnified sometimes. This tells you how small the cells are inside your body, and these cells are many in number. The human body has millions of cells. Now the cell is a single unit, and if you have similar looking cells together performing a function, it's called as a tissue. And you categorize organism into two categories based on how many number of cells they have got. The first category is unicellular. It means that the organism has got single cell, for example, Chlamydomonas, Paramecium, etc. And the organism can be multicellular, stating that it has got many number of cells, like the higher organism, plants and animals.